about art and artists and things like that. Looking a little blue today, but that's how it goes sometimes. I'm going to unpin this. I got to put up a new post-it pen. There I am. I exist. I exist. All right, we already looked at this whole art show, but now we got to actually dive into the artist a little bit more because we've been being lazy here. Let's see. Add everyone. What's it called? More art talk. More art research. Boom. I spelled research wrong, but I don't got time to fix that kind of stuff. So, first the artist. Here's the artist we are researching. 9 artists. I gotta read about every piece of work I can. Get a little bit more familiar here. Also, posting my engagement chats here. Epic Steak Toshi, what's up? How are you today? Oh, what's going on? It's a beautiful Saturday. So what am I going to do? I'm going to sit inside, obviously. You know what I'm saying? And read about art. No, I'm going to leave the house soon, I swear. I swear I'm going to leave the house. Boom. But not yet. Right now I'm going to drink coffee. Look at art. Also, my camera's fucked, but it's okay. I'm blue. Okay, so let's actually start with Sarah Moyoaz, which I have to learn how to pronounce. But there's a couple pieces of her previous artwork, whoops, that I want to go through. Because I got to read about everything else. Good walking around. Rainy French town in the Alps. Damn, you're living a good life. That's the art life here, okay? Lovely. So we got a couple different pieces here. Okay, we're going to read the about here. Sarah is a conceptual artist whose practice considers the nature and capabilities of emerging technologies in contemporary society. What are the capabilities of emerging technologies in contemporary society? Using the familiar emblems of biological life, Moyohaz, I gotta learn how to say that name, investigates the complex operations that increasingly govern our world. Soaring birds, creating unique augmented reality software, flock in unison with the frenetic variations of a stock market. Rose petals, aggregately identical but individually unique. Compromise the data set for their AI-created equivalents. Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency backed by physical artworks, questions the speculative value of cryptocurrency and the ineffable value of art. Sarah creates an intelligible visual language to articulate the system and technologies that increasingly influence our world. Represented by the Mariana Boyskaya Gallery. It has been exhibited in New York at the Red Bull Arts, 303 Gallery, Rockefeller Center, New Museum of Contemporary Art, and internationally at institutions including the Barbican Center, London, the Jamal Arts Center, Dubai, the Ming Contemporary Art Museum, Shanghai. She's been in Shanghai, she's been in Dubai, she's been in London. Her work has also been in the collection of the Centre Pompidou, Paris, and she's been featured in the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Vice, Artforum, has appeared in CNBC, PBS, CBC. Her film, Cloud of Petals, was screened at various film festivals around the world, including the Slam Dance Film Festival and the Locarno Film Festival. 2017, she was named 30 under 30, but that's a scam. Holds dual degrees in finance and international relations. Okay, so it is. I love that she's got a degree in finance. But she's got the MFA from Yale. Classic. That's the only way you're going to get that kind of representation. You don't got no MFA? And it's not from Yale? Pathetic. But very interesting, very interesting, very interesting. This is Sarah for Oplean Prize. I guess I'll mute music. Let's go down a little bit here.
In the projects that I work on, I am rendering visible abstract structures and engaging with very new technologies to offer a poetic vision of the future. Hi, my name is Sarah Mayohas. I am a conceptual artist and the creator of Bitcoin.
No, I am not actually. I'm just researching. I'm probably going to make a video on it, but Steak Toshi, this is all artists from a particular collection.
There was only Bitcoin, and so
I know the story of Bitcoin.
Artwork.
So there's this collection here all at once, 9 artists all doing stuff that actually are on Bitcoin. They're all doing kind of crazy art stuff on Bitcoin, messing with the concept of time and chronology. And all the art's really cool, but I just want to make sure that I'm familiar with every single one of the artists a little bit more. And typically I just do this stuff alone, and I've decided if I'm ever going to do this type of research, why not just do it in person? You know what I mean? So that's generally the idea here. So Learn in public, embarrass yourself, pronounce things wrong. Okay, while we're doing that, I'm just going to pop a little bit more of this for a second.
And created my own meme currency.
But I'll make a video. A book, though?
And I backed it at a
Who wants to
fixed rate
read what I write here?
25 scrunches per coin forever. Those artworks were called speculations, and it was created using two-way mirrors that create this telescoping effect, this mise en abîme, and included my body within the image. Bitcoin is the first example of fractionalizing and tokenizing art and putting it on a blockchain. It was released before Ethereum, making it an extremely historical piece of NFT art. Bitcoin was initially about my agency as a young female creator. It was about taking trends I was seeing and
Got a cool dress.
them to an extreme. People turning themselves into brands, the financialization of art, the potential of blockchain technology. The limit of that is Bitcoin. Is the
See, I'm already a
artist
little bit
as
more
currency.
too familiar with Bitcoin, so I'm going to keep moving while I'm listening
The idea of a social token.
because,
Allowing fans
I'm a shark.
to
Got to keep
have
going.
A piece of me. And
So we've got Bitcoin. We're really familiar with Bitcoin. Very cool. Let's look at speculations.
artists
So, because this is actually what you get for Bitcoin. If you actually trade your Bitcoin in, you get a photograph from speculations.
Come see it. But now,
Which-
Bitcoin can be bought by people
Boom,
around
look
the
at this.
world who simply have an engagement with your work through the ideas and the visuals that they can just see online. And as I continue to make art,
Let's see if it's going to be all Bitcoin.
remains
No, there's
this
more.
Seminal piece that has all of
Bitcoin is the
elements
potential of
that
blockchain
I
technology.
continue
I gotta
to
say,
find
I am. If you want to see some merch, I think I might buy this. Actually, I'm laughing.
Bitcoin
Oh
is
shoot!
one of the very few
Speaking of just
NFTs in a world
merch,
that is still very male-oriented. An engagement with
this is a pretty. That's a pretty good hat right there. It's pretty good. The Bitcoin hat. It's pretty good.
AI or virtual reality or augmented reality, and an engagement with financial
augmented
structures
reality.
and how those can evolve.
Stock performance, beautiful.
After
We look at these all day.
I was really interested in our conceptions of value, and the stock market is this amazing aggregator of information. It takes a wide reality.
Well, she does have a
and
degree in
distills it into
finance, so this
exchange.
all makes sense. And international relationships, dual
Exchange
degree,
is
MFA
the
from
point
Yale.
that
Repeating information I just learned to show that I've learned
very
it.
Interesting. Value doesn't exist unless exchange happens. When there is one in the place of the other, this is a substitution, which is an act of representation. Exchange is also a relationship between two people, which really
According to be
ties
backed
my
by a
work to
photograph.
relational aesthetics. In stock performance, I looked at exchange in the context of the market. A very wide reality gets distilled to this point and this line. And obviously this is something that's very reductive, and as a result,
repeat
the
just got here.
point
What's
and
up,
the
Will?
line become a reality within themselves.
Yeah, I'm doing a research into
So,
artwork
that
outside
means
of what's
that
released at all at once, and then I'll see what I can tie back to
with the
all at once.
purpose of manipulating
So, just trying to learn
value. As soon as I
of the
had
artist
made
deeper.
The value change, I would go to a painting, a white painting, and very gesturally with oil stick, redraw that line, mirroring the way in the market I had inscribed my presence. That piece obviously got a lot of attention because it's quite dramatic to manipulate a stock. It's somewhat illegal to manipulate a stock as well. But the truth is that anybody who trades aggressively is going to move the price.
Okay, so stock manipulation is art. Love that. I don't know if it is. It's a great question, though. Well, let's add that to our questions.
Started with very different motivations. It started with looking at the technology itself, which is Microsoft HoloLens, and trying to conceive of the most fantastic
Still hashing.
project that I could make. The technology is an augmented reality headset.
Okay, so real quick, let's pause though, okay? Because I'm going to go a little bit deeper in each one of these actually, because I understand that speculations is actually what Bitcoin is backed by, but stock performance, this is market manipulation is art. I'm into that. So we got Matt Levine making a little comment here. I, for one, would love to hang a Sarah Moya stock chart painting on my wall. Whoa, what a comment. Okay, in Radical Gestures, Sarah. Oh, and also I got to listen to the name again because I got to practice saying people's names correctly.
In the projects that I work on, abstraction of the future. Hi, my name is Sarah Mayohas.
Mayohas. There we go. Boom. Okay. In radical gesture, Sarah Meoas drew on the New York Stock Exchange, subverting the market for art. She bought and sold stocks not to make money, but simply to move the stock performance line where she wished. She then redrew the resulting lines on white canvases at the 303 gallery. Yes, so manipulate a stock, draw it on canvas. Love that shit. Good stuff. Ooh. So, her day trading is an intentional effort to move the line to actually make a gesture within the market. A painting, featured painting, Nero Mama. She identified Nero Mama in 2016 and moved the stock by 13%. 6 months later, the SEC halted the trading of the stock, which had swelled to $35 billion due to insider manipulation. Whoa. Whoa. What's up, Proper? How are you? Whoa. $35 billion? The SEC halted it? And we got the CBC Power Lunch.
Bridging the gap between the trading floors of Wall Street and the galleries of Chelsea, turning trading stocks.
Doing a fake one of these for someone, it would be fun. I just want this. You just need that backdrop.
Yeah, interesting. Sarah Meohas has turned the market correction.
He did a good
into
pronunciation.
A work of art. Seriously, the 24-year-old artist has been trading stocks for 2 weeks at the 303 Gallery in downtown Manhattan. She then took the stock
just in there
charts and
grinded.
literally turned them
That's
into
the
abstract
definition of
paintings
locking
vanished
in. All right.
months ago. So she had no.
We got a good
idea
image of
she
that.
was
I need that.
trading and painting in the middle of this massive correction that we're having. She picked small, thinly traded stocks with market caps under 40 million. So since her goal was to change the price with her own trades, she used her own money for this. She ended up losing tens of thousands of dollars of money on the trades.
I want
She
that
will make
this
that
image
back on some of her paintings, each
like
of them
that. Here you go.
priced
That's pretty good.
at $10,000 each.
I would go like
Thank you
this.
for She ended up losing tens of thousands of dollars of money on the trades. Now, luckily, she will make that back on some of her paintings. Each of them
There you
are
go.
priced
Got a
at
screenshot. Current
$10,000
window.
each. She
It's
has
the definition of
already
locking in.
sold most of the 12. So these portraits of a market in turmoil will now hang on some very expensive walls.
The way Andy Warhol's art was about commodification, my art now is about financialization, and the financial markets have just grown in size.
All right, I gotta start
importance
reorganizing
over
this
the
'cause it's
last
different now. It's
25 years in such a phenomenal, almost sublime way that
too much indentation.
I'm just responding to the world.
And you know, she made a
Whoops.
great point that Warhol made, which is that making money is great art, right? And she said,
Yeah, the best art, making money.
Become so important to our culture, to the economy, that she's sort of fused them together. And a lot of the buyers are Wall Street guys.
I bet they are.
I'm
And-
not
Got a hedge fund.
surprised.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Wall Street guys. That's a big flex to own that. The SEC halted stocks based off this artwork. That's a pretty good thing. This is just it again, a nice presented. Just in there, just locking in, manipulating. Hell yeah. Okay, let's read this. I agree with the possibility of making art that doesn't make people feel good. I agree with the possibility of making art that doesn't make people feel good because of a lot of things not to feel good about, because there's a lot of things that aren't to feel good about, okay? Yeah, exactly, dude. It's genius. It's genius, right? You think about it, right? If you lose money, it's good art. And then you can just sell that for money. It's the best way to hedge your bets, you know? Okay, nice. And there are ways of being radical. And one way of being radical is to protest the system. That's not what I want. There we go. Global chat. Oh, wait, real quick. Let me get my chat showing. It should be able to show, too. Why is it being a little jerk? Usually it's supposed to show up in this corner right here, and I see my properties on, but... Oh, boy. I don't know. Something's going on. Why can't I make anything work today? I mean, I can add another browser scene. I'll add another browser scene.
It is difficult to
I broke my whole... That's why I'm blue today. I broke my whole computer today. Again, you know what I mean. If you guys really want to see, look at... Here's a demo. Here's a little list of the things that I was missing. Arch woes here. Yeah, so I was having a fun day. I was having a fun time this morning. Because I am a masochist who uses Arch Linux for no reason.
pretty enough.
Just to make life painful. And my browser source is gone. That's why browser source is gone, because I changed... I redid OBS. What else would I do instead of that? Screen capture, media source, image, glow. It's gone. Okay, no chat. Sorry. What's up, Toddy? Now, back to work here. Now, there are many ways of being radical, and one way of being radical is to protest the system. The other is to fully embody it to a point that it is inescapable. That this is the way things work, which I think the motivation behind all of what you've done, okay? Whether you get there or not is a whole nother set of issues. But, you know, capitalism is the ultimate abstraction. Whoa, whoa. There is nothing more abstract than capital. Its consequences are highly unabstract. But the way which people play this game, to play it, they are engaged in a higher level of conceptual abstraction than many people simply don't understand. I'll just take that. Oh boy, we'll just take this and put it up in this little section here. And that's not by her, that's by this guy, Robert, who's saying that. Robert Storr. Don't want to steal his quote. Let's see. Its consequences are highly unabstract. The way people who play this game play it, they are engaged in a higher level of conceptual abstraction that people simply don't understand. It's not that they can't, it's that they don't want to. What Sarah has done coming into the financial world is try to give a variety of statements or forms or iterations of that so that people that don't want to look at this will. Lovely. Very cool, Kanye. All right, we'll pause again. Go back to, I've already watched this part of this video. We saw this, and then Dawn Chorus.
Which is
While we're waiting for that.
And trying to conceive of the most fantastical, poetic project.
Mixed piano reality experience combining digitally rendered birds and algorithmic musical arrangements with the Yamaha Disclavier piano.
The space that you're in entirely, it's glass, and inside you can have animations that react to surfaces. So I decided to create a musical piece. There's a physical player piano in the space, and there are also
We love player pianos, you know what I mean? Big Colin Nancarroll fan.
And the animations are of birds and watercolor effects that land on the piano and trigger it to play. And when the birds fly around, the sound also follows their flight. This piece was partly inspired by the electromagnetic dawn chorus, which is waves that get picked up that sound like birds. And these technological birds are like an automaton playing the piano, and the sounds of the soundscape are a mix of flute sounds, real bird sounds, electromagnetic dawn chorus sounds that are all distorted together to become a mix. The musical composition of the piano.
I want to try it out. I want to go see it.
Algorithmic composition, which is taking fragments of compositions made in whole tone scales. And the other set of phrases I worked on with a composer, a human composer. His name is David Francois Moreau.
Okay, whole tone. You know, it's hard to write with whole tone. You know, stuff sounds crazy.
So it's
Otherworldly. We don't like that symmetry. The symmetry doesn't sound good to us in music.
Of what the birds are actually doing. This piece
I used to be super into composing whole tone music though,
structural color.
because it makes crazy sounds.
Create structural color in their wings. Very blue birds are not creating color with absorption. They're creating color with refraction. And that's how you get the iridescence. The HoloLens is also creating color with structural color. It's 3 panes of glass that represent the red, green, and blue channels that a projector is triggering because it knows where your eye is. So structural color in the HoloLens, structural color in birds, and linking it all to music to create a hopefully synesthetic, poetic experience.
Sounds lovely. And she's not going to get in trouble by the SEC for it. That's so nice. Let's listen. The problem is I don't get the spatial, you know, I don't get to walk around. That's the real joy. I only have this video. See, like the composition, like the flute in the background, like the chord progression gives it like this, you know, forward motion where these birds can dance around, and it still has this, you know, movement. Just lovely, though. I'm sure it would be way better in person, too. Because the whole point is walking around spatially and seeing this thing. Lovely. Beautiful. Yes, yes, she inscribed the photograph of Bitcoin, one of the screenshots of Bitcoin as an inscription for the all at once. So, boom, screenshot of the original Bitcoin mine, 2015, 3/8/4/1915, and boom, I believe this is what is actually being inscribed. However, I don't know if the inscription is available yet. We got the wear cam for the gallery. But yeah, so this is what is been inscribed, you know, which we can reread how the statement works to everything else. But, you know, yeah. All right, let's keep going. We're learning. Dawn Chorus, very cool piece. Love it. Love it. Okay. Stock performance, that's the best thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Very cool. Now, speculations. This is the photograph that you would get as part of the Bitcoin if you traded it in. Look at pretty. Let's just make sure I understand what's going on over here. The analogy that created, artist statement. The analogy that created the endless loop. Reflection is a metaphor for value. Value is created through replacement. In an exchange, one is in a place of another. As a result, the metaphor of reflection goes both ways. Okay, so since this is related to Bitcoin and it's related to exchanging the value between the actual Bitcoins and that are mined and this art here, we're talking about value and we're talking about reflection being a metaphor for value. Now, because the idea is these two things, I don't know, I don't understand exactly. Well, reflecting is seeing something back, but there's an exchange. Things are different. Yeah, speculations are physical. Exactly. The speculations are physical, and you could trade the Bitcoin for them. They were back. This is what was back at the Bitcoin. So, value is created through replacement. In an exchange, one is in the place of another. As a result, the metaphor of reflection goes both ways. For Plato, the material reality is the reflection of the ideal form, while for Marx, the price is the reflection of the commodity. For Plato, the material reality is a reflection of the ideal form. Look at these forms, the form, the essence of a chair, right? Okay, now this physical chair, this is a reflection of the ideal form of a chair. Marx is saying, yo, that chair, it costs this much money. That's a reflection of how useful that chair is in this particular case. It's a comfy little comfy Eames chair, nice walnut, beautiful leather, worth more. Shitty IKEA chair, worth less. It's reflecting the other thing. The monetary value is reflecting the item. Okay. The light is caught bouncing between mirrors in an endless exchange, a specular relation. The photographs are titled Speculations. Speculations relating also to, this cryptocurrency market and, speculating the value of art and whatnot. It was initially conceived for Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency, as an artwork that playfully constructed value. The coin needed to be backed by a photograph, and this photograph needed to create value visually, deliberately, and perhaps with an illusory expansion of space to reference mining and the idea of gold. The series of photographs is ongoing. After all, these images literally never end, and while the themes of infinity, reflection, and illusion are conceptually vast, it is also an act of photographing. To look at a mirror instead of seeing myself and seeing a void that is metaphysical. Selected press. Lovely. Lovely. They look just lovely. Beautiful. Reflections on reflections on reflections. Reflections on reflections on reflections. Because obviously reflections, we can all know what Plato said. Plato said that the material reality is just a reflection of the ideal form, similar to how Marx was saying that commodities are a reflection of their price and vice versa, right? Just how we exchange from one to the other, reflecting each other in some different ways. If something is, okay, cool, I'm done. I have to repeat things so they go into my brain. Lovely. So we know stock performance, we know Dawn Chorus, we know Bitcoin. Now, so, okay, there's another holographic work, maybe involving a piano again. I'm just going to go do a quick survey of all, and then I'll see where I want to go. But so I will check this out. Interferences, and then there's infinite petals, and then cloud of petals. We've got two petals. We've got non-existent token. Let's check out non-existent token. Okay. Let's see. Bid amount is 17 Ether right now. View the receipt collection on OpenSea, the non-existent token. Connect your account. How it works. Each bid must be 10% higher than the one before. The previous bidder will immediately receive their money back plus 5%. The rest is in the artist royalty. Okay, cool. I already think I understand what's happening right here. So the money is locked up until someone actually does bid 10% more. Once they bid 10% more, they do own it, but the other person does get their money back. Previous bidder immediately received their money back plus 5% minus gas fees. The rest is the artist royalty. A winning bid receives an NFT in their wallet of a bubble. As soon as there is a subsequent bid, the bubble passes on to the next winner. The previous transaction will become a receipt, which advertises your return. A portion of the artist's proceeds will be allocated to carbon offset credits, making this a carbon neutral project. Come on, we don't need to do that. Once your bid has been accepted, your maximum bid is canceled, and you must resubmit a bid. Each bid, each bid generates a unique animation with a growing number of bubble particles and size variations. The Boltzmann entropy equation was used to calculate and design the NFT. The entropy of the non-existent NFT token is proportional to the number of sales, and represented by the number and variation of bubble particles. Longevity. The auction goes on forever. You may be a winner for a year or more. Someone can always outbid as long as the Ethereum network is still running. Each animation is a different number of bubble particles and different size variations between the bubble particles based on the function inspired by the Boltzmann entropy equation, S equals K L N W. There you go. This equation relates the entropy of macrostate to the number of microstates corresponding to the macrostate. Okay. All right. All right. You got me. I'll look it up. It's fine. It's fine. Relating to entropy S, as written as SB, of an ideal gas, the multiplicity, the number of real microstates corresponding to gas macrostate. Okay, obviously Ludwig Boltzmann made it up in 1872. And then always, it's max, always max. Okay, so now, there's a 23-minute video. Here's the actual equation.
Now you know how to count the number of microstates and probability
I do.
of
Thank you.
configuration. Now in 1877, Ludwig Boltzmann found a relationship between the multiplicity of configurations.
All right, we are now enrolling in UNSW physics here.
N1 factorial times N2 factorial. And
look, they're grinding out here.
System. He showed that they were related.
She's grinding.
To S is equal to K log W. This was a crowning achievement for Boltzmann, and this equation is actually engraved on his tombstone.
Whoa.
We won't be deriving
grind until you have a math formula engraved on your tombstone.
Making use of it. We'll see an example in just a minute. Okay, but it does make sense that we've got a logarithm in there, because if you think of two individual systems and combining them, when we combine them,
this is the rabbit hole I'm not going to go down.
Of those two systems.
The most misunderstood concept in entropy. Look at, I've already watched part of this. All right, let's just get to this. Okay, here we go. This looks more helpful to me.
Look at the idea of
I'll pause music for this.
One of the best ways to do this is to imagine the dispersal of energy occurring from molecules actually dispersing into space. And that's fairly easy to envision for gas particles because we have a nice small particle
or bubbles in the
gases.
case of the art we're looking at.
So let's start off imagining a situation where we have a box, and the box is divided into two sides, a left-hand side and a right-hand side. And we'll imagine there's only one gas particle in the box. And so we'll say there's one little particle. And the key idea is that this particle is in motion. And it's important to remember that for all molecular pictures that we have of matter, the particles are always in motion. They're either vibrating or moving around. Even atoms and solids can be translating, even if it's on very, very long time scales.
Yes.
So these molecules aren't fixed in space, but they can move. And so we want to ask a basic question, which is, where will we find the gas?
Yes, these are great things to ask.
Is it going to be on the left-hand side of the particle, or the left-hand side of the box, or the right-hand side of the box? So since the particle is moving around, it's just exploring all possible spaces. And what we want to look at are snapshots in time. So these aren't fixed positions, but this is what any configuration might look like if we just took a snapshot in time. So one chance is that the particle is on the right-hand side of the box, and we can imagine that if we let it move around and we took a bunch of snapshots, a good fraction of the time, in fact exactly half of the time, we would discover the particle on the left-hand side of the box. And so with only one particle, these two are equally likely. That is, there's no reason to believe there'll be any difference between one particle on the left or one particle on the right. And so here we have a situation where we know, if we wanted to know where's the particle, well, it's exploring the entire box. What happens though if we move on to two particles? If we have two particles, we now have two particles in the box and they're moving at the same time. And so we can imagine them starting on the left, and then if they move around and then we take a snapshot, we might capture them both on the left. But if they're moving around and we're taking snapshots in time, we know that there's some chance that we'll find one on the right and one on the left. Or alternatively,
this explains Jezebel finally to me. That's the key.
Might be on the right, or we might, in some snapshot in time, find them both on the right. Now, these possibilities are no longer equal to one another. And the reason they're no longer equal is that the particles don't have labels. We don't know which one is number 1 and which one is number 2. And for that reason, these two here in the middle are actually the same configuration. That is, we would call them equivalent. And so if we looked at all possibilities and we said, what are the chances the particles are both on the left-hand side, or what are the chances the particles are both on the right-hand side, or what are the chances that there's one on each side? It is more likely that there's one on each side because there's two equivalent ways to achieve that. Particle 1 can be on the left and particle 2 on the right, or
Makes
2 on the left and 1 on
sense.
the right. As we increase the number of particles, we'll see that we get an ever-increasing number of equivalent states for different configurations. So let's look at what happens when we have 4 particles. If we have 4 particles, we now have to imagine there's some possibility that they could all show up on the left-hand side, but there's also a chance that one of them is on the right. And in fact, we know there's several ways to make this configuration. We could have the first particle there, or the second particle there, or the third particle there, or the fourth particle there. So 4 different ways to achieve that configuration with 3 on the left and 1 on the right. It could be that there's 2 on each side. It could be that there's more particles over on the right-hand side. What we want to do now is to count up the different ways that we can arrange the particles and arrive at these equivalent configurations. So for that first one, we know there's only one way to do that. All of the particles have to be on the left. We call this number of ways of achieving this configuration, we give it a symbol omega. This is the number of equivalent microstates.
Okay, perfect.
So these pictures that we're
omega,
are
number of equivalent microstates.
Where is the energy? How is it distributed? Where are the particles?
Omega.
So for the first one, there's only one way to do that. All of the particles have to be on the left. But as I pointed out, for the second one, there's 4 ways to do that, because any one of the 4 particles could be the one on the right, and since they don't have numbers or letters on them, they're all exactly the same. Then there have to be 4 equivalent ways.
Duh, it's got.
Turns out that for the middle, with a 50-50, there's 6 equivalent ways, and then for 1 on the left, there's 4 again, and all of them on the right, there's 1 again. So you can see now it's becoming ever more likely for us to be getting to this equally distributed. That is the highest probability. So if the particles do whatever they want, and we just take a snapshot at a moment in time.
4 is omega 2. What do you mean?
Is this one here?
Yeah, these are all the different ones for each one, because 6 different ways to do this, 4 different ways to do this.
One of these other 2,
the equivalent microstates, only one equivalent microstate. You have to have all 4 there. This one's, there's 4 of them. That means there's 4 of them. Because this one's 6 of them, because it could be both.
Now we can see that the 50-50 states here, where we have 5 on the left and 5 on the right, are becoming incredibly likely. That is 252 equivalent ways to make a state.
Like dice. Look at it. It looks like dice.
It's highly unlikely. And in fact, only 1 on one side or 2 on one side is very unlikely. So now, what are the chances that we find things equally distributed? They're very, very high. What if we don't have 1 or 2 or 4 or 10 particles, but we have Avogadro's number of particles? If we have Avogadro's number of particles,
we have Avogadro's number of particles.
We will get equally distributed particles, because every particle on the left or every particle on the right has so small a chance of occurring that we can say it never happens. What will happen? Let the particles go wherever they want. Imagine a snapshot in time. They are going to be spread out 50-50 on each side of the box. What is forcing them to do this? Nothing. The particles simply move where they would like to move, and the equally distributed case is simply...
Damn, dude, that's so much, bro.
Exactly 50-50? Half Avogadro's number on one side and half on the other? No. We can get some small fluctuations, but we never get these immense fluctuations. Where we
this guy, oh man.
This number of equivalent microstates is a measure of the entropy.
Sick.
So this idea was formulated by Boltzmann, who said the entropy is equivalent to some proportionality constant, this is the Boltzmann constant, times the natural log of the number of equivalent microstates, omega.
Gotcha. See, we actually understand this formula.
There's more ways to arrange our particles. That makes for more microstates and more entropy. It's important to realize that these microstates are not just for arranging positions of molecules, but also how energy is distributed within the molecules and between the molecules. And so higher temperature will be more energy to distribute, more energy will be more microstates will be more energy. Also, we have more molecules in the system. More molecules means more microstates means more entropy. And so all of these ideas play out.
Okay, so check it out. So what's going on here? That guy looks like a lady killer, 100%. This guy definitely was like, he's like, if I can figure out the equivalent number of microstates and how it relates to the concept of entropy. Okay, so we have more particles. We have more particles. That means we are actually going to see higher omega numbers, which is the equivalent number of microstates, meaning that the arrangement of those particles could be done in so many different ways to achieve whatever, one particular state, right? Then once you get to more particles, they can be flipped between each other more, which equals more microstates. So if that number of microstates grows, is larger, which means there's more particles, you actually have more entropy then, right? As time goes on, you're losing actual particles, things are winding down entropy, it's a decay, right? That means you have less equivalent number of microstates overall or based off individual number of particles. Okay, cool. Whew, it's just, I'm not that smart. So that's why we're looking at this Boltzmann entropy formula right here, which we can go back and probably understand that now that we have a little bit more of a start of statistical
it is
entropy.
The number of equivalent microstates that we have, which is why some situations are higher in entropy. So let's look at a spontaneous change. Now let's imagine that we have our gas and it's confined to the left-hand side of our box because we put a wall there, and so it can't go anywhere. And so this starts at a lower entropy configuration because there are fewer equivalent microstates for that situation. But if I remove the wall now, I know what's going to happen is the gas will spread out because it's just randomly moving
So the
around.
size
How will it
relates.
end up? Most likely, it will end up spread out 50-50. And that's because in the 50-50 configuration, we have many equivalent microstates. So we go from a situation with few microstates, much lower entropy, to a situation with many microstates, much higher entropy. And this is the reason that we move from low entropy to high entropy. We're going from configurations which are less likely to occur to the configurations which are most likely to occur.
Okay. Boom. We're super smart now. We'll do the Khan Academy. 2 more hours of that. No, I'm joking. Okay, I feel... It's got to learn something.
If you followed some of the mathematics and some of the thermodynamic principles in the last several videos, what occurs in this video might just blow your mind.
See, Khan, they got a little bit of a nicer speed. Okay, so here's the different receipts you see right here. Right? Boom. Time held 1 hour. Damn. Paid to win, gained at loss, block at win, ROI 2.5%. Love that. Very cool stuff. Cool. Lovely piece, non-existent token, very fun. And then the art actually of the person who's holding it. There should be one that is the bubbles. Am I incorrect? Here it is. So here's the current one right here, which as time goes on, this was designed. Bubbles. Lovely. No music, no big deal. Okay, great. So function inspired by Boltzmann's entropy equation here. Great, we understand that. Awesome. Warning, keep the address and wishy bits safe. There'll only be where NFT. We'll lock them into. Great. Understand. Beautiful. We got receipts. We got warnings. Great. Love it. Great site. Cool art. Big fan. Great. So we know Bitcoin. We know speculations. We know stock performance. We know Dawn, of course. We know non-existent tokens. So we got the 2 pedal pieces. We got cloud of pedals, infinite pedals. We got interferences. So interference is the second of, it looks like, of the, what do you call the AR hologram stuff. So let's check that out. The most aesthetically sophisticated and largest holographic work in the history of the medium. Whoa. This technology is completely analog and completely archival. In hundreds of years, the holograms could be taken out, illuminated at the right angle to recreate light waves in exactly the same way. Okay. Okay, first of all, once again, we're getting back to science here. We're getting back to science. So let's pop on some science music. You know what is it called? Dark Medieval Study. You guys know this genre on YouTube. There's Tabron, Dark Classical. Here you go. This is what you listen to while you read things like this. We're getting to a nice tab saturation. A lot of tabs. To a physicist, a hologram is a record of the interaction of 2 mutually coherent light beams in the form of a microscopic pattern of the interference fringes. Let me read that one more time. I'm slow. To a physicist, which we're talking about, there's different people. We're talking about a physicist. A hologram is a record of interaction of 2 mutually coherent light beams in the form of a microscopic pattern of interference fringes. To the well-informed layperson, it is a photographic film or plate that has been exposed to laser light and processed so that when illuminated appropriately, it produces a 3-dimensional image. To the less well-informed, it is just some kind of 3-dimensional photograph. Certainly both photography and holography, is that how you say that? Make use of photographic film or plates, but that's about all they have in common. The image is produced in totally different way. You can't even describe the way the 2 types of images are formed in the same terms. You could show how a camera lens produces an optical image using a simple ray diagram in basic geometry, but to explain a holographic image, you have to invoke the conceptions of diffraction and interference, and these are wave phenomena. Sarah's gonna force us to learn more science. Okay, we need Neil deGrasse Tyson helping out with teaching us about this art here. Okay, so in 2001, Mayhas initiated a series of traditional holograms called interferences. The subject matter of the holograms is simply plant matter, yet these are highly textural close-ups that invoke sensations of viscera. Mayhas is investigating the phenomenology of sensory perception that is unique to each individual viewer, depending on what they bring to the experience in their physical movements in real space and time. A journey that begins visually and subtly evolves into an embodied multisensory experience of orifices, spikes, and gelatinous textures. She's investigating the phenomenology of sensory perception, okay? Which there's many things here, okay? It can depend on their experience, physical movements in real time and space. Okay. Here's number 8, 22 seconds long. Look at this, what it looks like. There's a photo. Here's other ones of them. Let's look at this one. Is there music? I'm guessing there is, which means I have to pause my dark academia. Okay. See, it's hard. A lot of art when it's supposed to be things you see in person, like, and you got to look at it online. But look at this. It's got close-ups of plants. Look at the little spikes. Here's some light fuzz in the background. Okay. Whoa. Okay. All right. So I learned that. Then it goes on to more. And then it says here, holographic experimentation began in the 1940s, and the technique was recognized as a unique invention in 1971 when the Hungarian-British physicist Denis Gabor was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics. A hologram is essentially a photograph of an interference pattern. That is the pattern that results from the superimposition of two waves, which, when suitably illuminated, produces a three-dimensional image. Mayoha's seers are holograms as lenses through which nature is glimpsed at. Glass is an ancient material that is ubiquitous in our contemporary technologies and the built environment. In these holograms, glass returns to us embodying interference patterns. Okay. Cool. On to the petals. I got 2 petal pieces, and we've actually looked at every piece on here. Infinite petals. Look at all these petals. So, for infinite petals, Sarah Mayohas trained a GAN, a generative adversarial network, on a dataset of 100,000 physical rose petals to generate endless new unique petals. The dataset was compiled during the artist's previous project, Cloud of Petals. Gotta read Cloud of Petals. Got it. It says previous. Gotta read the previous first. Doing it in the wrong order. At the site of the former Bell Lab, 16 workers photographed 100,000 individual rose petals. The massive data set they compile is used to map out an artificial intelligence algorithm that learns to generate unique petals forever. And we've got a nice trailer right here. It says, rose petals cannot digitize themselves. At the site of the former Bell Lab, 16 workers gathered to photograph 100,000 rose petals one by one. Human hands must individually open the flower, pick the petal, place it under the lens, press the shutter, upload the image to the cloud. The workers set aside 1 petal per rose that they consider most beautiful and put it in a press, preserving it as a physical artifact. From this trove of images, an artificial intelligence algorithm emerges, allowing for the creation of a new unique petals forever. Staggering in scope, this sprawling, indexicals cool project marries the disparate realms of the ephemeral nature and the digitized reality. Molly Simon from Flaunt Magazine. Shot on 16mm, Cloud of Petals traces beauty and subjectivity within the systems of automation and artificial intelligence inside the static confines. Look, it looks beautiful. The actual, I'm getting actually it done. Inside the static confines of the once modern but now shuttered Bell Labs, the place where the world's brightest minds came together to invent the future, Sarah Mayohas has captured a haunting vision, punctuated by arresting visuals. At one point, a live python is set loose amid the piles of petals. And above all, it tracks the transformation of those elemental markers of color, the bloomlets of flowers, into nothing but data, ones and zeros. The clouds of petals sprawled in the building eventually become a cloud of pixels. The result is a fever dream, deconstruction or reimagination that's oddly reminiscent of our experience in the digitized, surveilled, endlessly categorized world. The Organs Art Watch. The petals undergo yet another transformation through a series of virtual reality worlds. Cloud of Petals VR presents Sarah Mayohas' metaphorical network of petals across multiple worlds, placing within the blank void of a digital place. 3-dimensional animated petals fall like rain around the viewer in one world or travel in an internal cylindrical tube in another. Cool. The pixelated images are immersive, comforting, and dreamlike. They evoke physical and embodied processes such as the memory and sensual perception, while also being representative of an unbounded language of code capable of navigating every aspect of the infinite space that is our digital world. Celebrated and critiqued, contemporary art world is where 1,000 flowers bloom, but 1,000 is not enough for Sarah Mayohas, who took 10,000 rose petals and scattered them across the world of arts, technology, and finance, tainting sterile stealing glass, symbols of technology purity with the scent of garden in the boudoir, juxtaposing clinical modernity with the lush sensualism, like a body gorgeously draped over an examining table, exposing itself with the eyes of desire but not the probe of inquiry, thus confounding the doctor, who conditionally and professionally obligated to see the naked human flesh as the site of medical malformation, must confront a rapidly beating heart and the pulse of vital warmth. The seductive clashing of worlds that seem so separate through simple physical objects in the case of the epitome of floral symbolism, the rose, is a characteristic of Mayhewas's work, which has been from the beginning challenged and refined space by inscribing it with foreign bodies. Jesus Christ. I don't understand any of that. Pop this on real fast. Love that shot. I like the music too. But I don't like how fast they're going. We need more care for each pedal. This should take years. Okay, sorry. Also, they're in Bell Labs. It's so sick. And Bell Labs is abandoned. You can rent it out. I want to rent out Bell Labs for something. I like I guess this was shot on some cool kind of camera too. I'm not a smart enough camera nerd. Great shots of everything. Love the floor. Love how they got different colored flowers at each one. Thank God they take good videos like this. Whoa. Oh yeah, snake skin. Remember, they let a snake loose. Look at them. Dude, I want to rent out Bell Labs. I want to be hired to be one of these 16 people. I like this more than the Penny Ord project. What do you mean? You're talking about the actual sense? Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, but this isn't on ordinals either. This is just art. Oh. We're generating images. We're making the GAN. It's happening. Generated rose petals. There's the two sides. There's this categorization of it. There's the VR environment you can build after having everything categorized and built. And then second, there is this actual GAN we've made, or whatever. We've got a nice model here. Yeah, this is good art. Look at all those pedals. Pedals are so soft and nice, too. Beautiful. Want to roll around in them. I don't like that fly. I don't like these flies. I wonder if she designed that floor too. Okay. So then this led to the other side, which is the infinite pedals now. Of course you'd like the flies. Of course you'd like the flies. Okay, I'm going to pop this on really fast. I got to be right back in half a second. I'm drinking a whole thing of coffee. All right, be right back. Be right back. Sorry. Okay. Jeez. All right, lovely. So, what a lovely website. What good info. Let's list out what the pieces are again. Can I just copy them in an easy way? Can I just do that? So if I divided up the art, right, there's like 2 finance pieces, right, which is stock performance, which I love. I think that's probably my favorite one. And there's Bitcoin. And then speculations is, related to Bitcoin. So it doesn't need to be underneath it, but I'm going to. Right, we've got 2 hologram pieces, or I don't know, maybe that's not the way. Dawn of Chorus. So this is the lovely piano piece, and then there's I guess there's the 2 pedals here, right? There's really infinite. This is infinite pedals with the cloud of pedals. So well, these are not whatever hologram piece. There you go. Pedal pieces. Pedal piece / AI. Oh yeah, non-existent token. Duh. And that's all. There's spec. Oh no, interferences is the other one. That is this is the other holographic work. There you go. I knew there was a second one. Great. Right. So AI, finance stuff, etc. Very cool. And then this all leads to actually let's just read what it says now in context of this. First launched Bitcoin in 2015. We know that wrapped the interior of the gallery. Headquartered in a 40-foot shipping container with reflective mylar surrounding a single mining computer monitor. The space was viewable through a live stream. Token buyers received a certificate with key number encryption, granting the access to the Bitcoin software program. Operated as a fork of Bitcoin, can be exchanged in perpetuity for the artist's work, each backed with a 5-inch by 5-inch portion of her speculations photographs. At the time, Ethereum had not been launched, and tokenized art on Bitcoin directly was not possible. Almost a decade later, with the recent development of ordinals, she returns to the Bitcoin. Is there an H in it? It's misspelled. Bitcoin blockchain to inscribe this history onto Satoshi from block 346793. This block was in the process of being mined at the same time the inscribed screenshot on the webcam was being taken here. So, so it's really just connecting it back to there, and it's it is matching the block, but it's brings attention to this, which is very interesting. But I don't think it moves the story too much more, other than being like, told you, kind of how it feels to me. But awesome, great. Oh boy. So let's do this one. Okay, we did the first now. Portents is already tough, you know what I mean? I really like it, but I pulled the docs out already, so we could just rewrite it to try and make sure we understand what's going on. Well, we could do let's do Rhea Myers first. As seen in Taschen, I'm in Taschen. Lovely, lovely, lovely. What a fun time. Learned so many things. So much cool art. Whoops. Great website. Whoops. As seen in on NFTs, this token is art. Video game console, neon pink bands in perspective, falling rain catching the light, static black. The Kate Gastow gallery. Look at all this art. We got so many things to do. So many things to do. This token is art. It is art. Is Art 2014 was part of a series of artworks that started with the essay Art World Ethereum, and that shared the name with it. It exploits the exhaustive art theoretical concept of nomination, underwriting it with the power of the blockchain rather than 1960s art world consensus. Okay. It was a piece from the series that caught people's imagination the most, predating ERC 721 and structured to be deliberately unownable. It existed as a smart contract that anyone with sufficient knowledge and capital could interact with and change the state of. Okay, so Is Art 2014 was part of a series of artworks that started with the essay Art World Ethereum. Jesus Christ, I gotta get all this sentence confuses all of me. But we got a GitHub, love that. Hopefully it's timestamped. Great, and I got some early timestamp 9 years ago. Beautiful. Exhibiting. Use the version and build. Art for Ethereum and vice versa. Contracts. Got some solidity here. This is 8 years ago. And it's 2024 right now. So this is like before the 721. Which is a standard built with the smart contracts you can do. So this is like proto NFTs, you know what I mean? Or not proto, they're not, it's still an NFT, but you know what I'm saying, whatever. Proto 721, proto the standardization. So, as a kind of mid-career retrospective take on Art World Ethereum, Is Art Editions collapses the content of Art World Ethereum into the aesthetics of Is Art. It shares this retrospective impulse with type opposite images in some as yet unannounced series. So, Is Art token burn, Is Art token composition, Is Art token democratic, Is Art token democratic. So these are different styles of tokens that have been set up that have an addition that you can experiment with different ways, right? So it says a token that is art or not, depending on the current Ethereum block height. Love that. Here's one, is a token that can be nominated as art for a particular reason by its owner. Here's one, a token that can be nominated as art by its owner, but only by destroying it. Okay, cool. So let's just go. These are fun. These are fun. And this is the Is Art 2023. There's a lot of stuff to unpack. A lot of history we got to go through to make all this. Love that. But, whoops, nominated as art for a particular reason. That's good art right there. That's good art right there. If you destroy it, it's art. Love that. Love destroying art. A token that has several subtokens attached to it that can be arranged to nominate it as art by its owner, possibly in cooperation with the other owners. Totally. That's the only way to do it here. We got to have a little DAO controlling these tokens and making sure that the only way that they're art is everyone agrees that they actually are art. A token that can be nominated as art or not by a simple majority of its owners. Classic. Classic. A token that can be nominated as art or not by its owner and that displays the state using colors from the democratic palette. Lovely. A token that can be nominated as art by any of its owners, overriding the vote of all the others. Ooh. I say it's art, so it's art. A token that could be nominated as art by its owners for reasons that they specify using a controlled vocabulary. So I get that I'm on this retrospective, and it's referencing the earlier Art World Ethereum. So that's why I got a little confused. A token that can be nominated as art by its owner by reasons that are controlled using they specify using a controlled vocabulary. Interesting. A token that can be nominated as art by its owner if they are lucky. God, I want to be lucky. A token that can be used to nominate another token as art by its owner. Very good. That'd be really useful. I could sell that for a lot of money. A token that can be nominated as art or not by its owner on completion of a proof of work puzzle. Come on. Well, it's okay. We're ready over here. Okay, we're gonna mine some bitcoins by hand in a little bit. Okay. All right, back to work. There's so many. A token that can be nominated as art by its owner that stores UTS state for everyone in the original Is Art. Okay. Stealing all these. This information's mine. A token that can be nominated as art or not by its owner in a way that is encrypted and known only to them. That's the best one. That's the one I want. I don't want you to know if it's art or not. A token that with metadata can be nominated as art or not by its owner. And then finally, one that can be nominated art or not just by its owner. Okay, we got so many. I stole all the information here, okay? Pop up the Dark Academia, put on the Lo-Fi House, skip to the like water, edit, and then back to here. Great, we got all these. Awesome, lovely. So here's Is Art, and this is 2014, 2015. This is the Is Art Editions, but before that is just is art? Is art is an Ethereum contract that can be instructed to nominate itself as art or not. Whoever toggles the contract state as art sets it unimpeded until the next person sends a transaction to change it. A more rational system could be used bidding, voting, a prediction market. The Duchampian aesthetic transubstantiation of the artistic nomination is long played out. What a gorgeous sentence. It is an art historical found object, as basic as a contract with a single bit of state. Brought together, the art historical and the contemporary technological or their audience can mutually animate and interrogate each other. Love it. The Duchampian aesthetic transubstantiation of the artistic nomination is long played out. I've been saying that for so long. Oh, once again, you're messing with the Duchampian aesthetic transubstantiation of artistic nomination. Listen. It's art if I say so. Now we've mixed this up with contracts here. Late 1960s conceptual art and mid-1990s net art are useful inspiration for thinking about blockchain and smart contracts. These art movements stood in critical tension with the systems of communication, law, and commerce of their eras. Each treated rootless information, whether about sense data or network messages, as the critical subject of art and new potential art world. Their promise and their eventual recuperation by the existing art world chimes with the historical experience of the blockchain. IsArt takes the conceptual art idea of dematerialization, art that is presented in a fixed physical form, and nomination, something that is art because someone or someone says it is, and combines it with the net art, the idea of interactive art that exists and or interferes with network protocols. In it, an Ethereum smart contract contains this assertion that is either is or is not art. A web page connected to the Ethereum network displays the state of this assertion to anyone who can access the contract and allows them to switch between states. When they do so, it will fact secured in the Ethereum blockchain with the strength of millions of dollars of computing a day. Is this sufficient to determine whether the contract is art or not? Where and how is the claim being made and being determined? How does this relate to historical examples of such art? And how does it relate to other claims of fact stored in other smart contracts? Lovely. Now, let's see. Ethereum null address, 2021, 721 token. An NFT representing the Ethereum null address, making the unownable token ownable symbolically. Okay. After Joseph Kasuth. You can buy the remaining editions here on Feral File. I remember looking at this. Lovely. Okay, let's look at the Ego and its own. This is 2023. EEG data. Oh man, you know we love some EEG data. Identity and intimate experience quantified, commodified, and exploited in a hyper-capitalist exchange. The NFTs of the Ego and its owned combined EEG brainwave recordings of intense experiences with smooth data visualization aesthetics to produce a critical encounter with subjectivity, representation, and capitalism. Okay, NFTs allow for the commodification of previously unenclosed phenomenon from the commons of our shared experience. By doing so, they expand the reach of the capitalist regime of property and ownership. The recognition of new laboring subjects also ultimately has this effect. Effective labor, cognitive surpluses, minority experience, whatever the critical impetus for formalization each of these concepts may have originally been, it ultimately renders them tractable to capital over time. Yes, we can make money off them now. The application of NFTs to performance art in lieu of an expansion of copyright to cover ephemeral phenomena is another example of this process. Why should performance art or body art be subject to a kind of art historical Cartesian dualism in which the content of the mind and the form of the body are kept carefully separate? The brain is also part of the body. It performs subjectivity. Recognizing the immanence and subjectivity in the brain produces a new artistic object of representation. It also extends the reach of cognitive capitalism from the quantitatively extensive to the qualitatively intensive. This may both be embraced and critiqued through art. Trans people are currently seeing wider social awareness and attention for good or ill. Transgender experience is both dismissed and fetishized in this media. This is done by denying trans subjectivity, reducing being trans to a mere performance by an object. Rendering the subjectivity of that experience opaque will allow it to be further commodified. Rendering the subjectivity of that experience opaque will allow it to be further commodified. This is the dilemma of representation in both social and historical art senses. Taking ownership of this dilemma ironically intensifies via the blockchain is both a reflection and a critique of the capitalist logic of property. This is the diagram of Ego and its owned. Each token represents a recording of the artist's brainwaves filtered through the ghost of quantified self data visualizations to evoke subject and subjects of modernist art. In doing this, it performs a mutually problematic series of enclosures and objectifications that frustrate simple readings. This is what it is like now. If there is no space for us in technocapital's imagination as subjects rather than as objects, then we must deturn its formats to make the same assertions made by every piece of art since Lascaux. I am here. What the heck? I got too many things to learn. Okay, so Ditton. What does it mean? Past participle of ditoner. It's from detoner, to divert, to distract, to hijack, to embezzle, to turn aside. Okay. If there is no space for us in technocapital's imaginations as subjects rather than as objects, then we must divert its forms to make the same assertions made by every piece of art since Lascaux, I am here. Is it called? I want to see I am here. I want to see how good this thing is. Let's see. The Cave of Lascaux. I just want to see. Come on, I want to buy the pieces. Like, okay, I'm trying to buy the piece. Okay, so I want to buy I am here. Where is it? Show me the Open Sea for it, or the Magic Eden for it, or maybe Sotheby's. So here is art in the 21. I'll do the original. Okay, art unfolds in the present, and it's historical insofar as it releases other times into our own. Regardless of how ancient, more often than not, tells us more about ourselves than it gives us an accurate picture of life in the time of its making. Perhaps that is what's so compelling at the cave paintings at Lascaux. Like the backflip that announces Link's arrival at high school, the figure of the erect bird-masked shaman falling through the sky seems to say, I am here, not I was here, but I am here. Okay, we're obviously just naming random stuff, but okay, they're saying that if there's no space for us in technocapital's imagination as subjects rather than objects, we must divert from its forms to make the same assertions made by every piece of art, just since the beginning of art. Okay, cool. And then the actual aesthetics of this. Oops, I didn't mean to exit that. But I'll pause it. Avogadro's constant. That guy's cool as fuck. But I can only see just this one piece. Or are there others? Where's the collection? I want to buy one. I'm joking. We always need drops. We need rarities. Okay, type opposite images. Type opposite images is the reversal or invert of tokens equals text. It composes with the original to translate the colorful vaporwave aesthetics of each token into the grim monochrome of its other. The imagery of the nuclear apocalypse started and populated by killer machines. This produces its evil twin, a reflection in the dark mirror. And so what they're saying is that these are, yes, classical, plinth, chessboard, red, pink, sun, disc, cyan, navy blue gradient. Here, let's go grab some of these. Whoa! First of all, best offer, $57. 2 years ago. Video game consoles, empty window frames. I want to throw us into Luma, into like Dolly. But I wanted to have the words already translated, okay? So now we're going to do it this way. Hey, give me the goddamn image. Oh my god, I hate OpenSea so much. I forgot about this godforsaken website. Where do we go? We got AI somewhere. Here we go. Boom. Okay, make an image from the words in here. Thank you. Okay, back to business. Let's look at the history just for fun. I can't help myself. 2019, so long ago. So very long ago. 2 years ago. Look at the last one, 6 weeks, $20,000. Hot damn, 2 years ago. Can I buy anything right now? See, there's no floor. I can't buy anyone. They only got low offers, but I'm trying to get one. There we go. It's not bad. Look at that. It's a cool vibe. So now let's take one of the reverse ones. Life is so much better now with, you know, Jippity for this stuff. Before, you would have to actually, you know, wait a couple hours. Probably more for that for a soupy mess. Let's see. Take the words in this image, flip them, and use them to make an image. You got it right? Let's see. Destroyed. But okay, cool. These are the evil twins to this project here, which is tokens equals text, which is an open edition of 32, which is ERC 998 composable tokens, which owns 4 child ERC 721s. They have short scripted text encoded as their ID numbers. This makes the 998 token compositions of those text fragments. The content of the composition can be decrypted. The viewer knows that the token IDs cannot be misread as text rather than numbers. The content can be further decrypted if the viewer recognizes that these fragments of text describe key visual tropes of the vaporwave movement. Vaporwave is a 2000 internet-based culture, musical and cultural genre devoted to the sampling and ionization of muzak, digital kitsch, aesthetics, consumerism, signifiers of wealth and property from the long 1980s. Its status as appropriation art puts it in a precarious relationship with the ownership of the sources of its tropes as intellectual property. The question of whether a given trope fits the aesthetic of vaporwave is key to the genre's accompanying discourse, with canonical tropes establishing the content of that aesthetic. A composition of textual references to these canonical tropes at least admits to the question, is this aesthetic? I love that. Which is the key question of art in art criticism, however crookedly reflected. Using Ethereum Web3 browser, app code to display the text of tokens in visual compositions using aesthetic in the vaporwave sense, typography, and colors, nudges along a positive answer to that question, and thereby to decryption of the work's content. It prevents the recovery of that content from being a mere puzzle. The easy recovery of the work content foregoes the presence of conceptual and indexical structure that reward contemplation. Dude, we keep using indexical. Indexical keep coming up. It came up with Sarah, and it came up with Rhea. Indexical, like, you know, cloud of petals. Right, and then we're talking about token equals art, right? These are all indexical. The rare art market demands something aesthetic to own. Token equals art loops this desire back through visual references to the complexly unknowable aesthetics of vaporwave in order to both satisfy and frustrate it. By doing so, it places the anxieties of blockchain true digital ownership into a state of mutual critical interrogation with the anxieties of the art market. Lovely. Let's see what we got. Oh my god, see, it's evil. We hate it. It's the evil version of this. It's true. Look it. Okay, cool. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. We got face coins and we got 1 Doge equals 1 Doge. Face coins is tokenized editions of the classic face coin. So this is 2023 tokenized version of face coins. We got to go to the original face coin. So here's face coin. Whoa, cute. Face coin cash is a newer, higher resolution, lower pixel bitmap advancement of the original face coin. So this is face coin cash. Sorry, that's even new. We need, where's the original face coin? Part of the Coins project. Cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin use proof of work system to prevent abuse. Artworks are proof of aesthetic works. Face coins uses machine, oh my god, pareidolia as its proof of work. This is implemented by using CCV's JavaScript face detection algorithm in SHA-256 Digest representative gray pixel maps. So we're using, okay, first let's find out what this word means. But we're looking for faces using OpenCV, and if it says it's a face, then it's a face. An industrial strength version would use OpenCV due to its limitation of face detection that's implemented by these libraries. The Digest pixel map is upscaled and blurred to produce images of size that they can find faces in. The difficulty can be varied by altering the size and blur of the pix map, or by allowing particular detected face-bound rectangles to be set. Cool. The tendency to perceive a specific, often meaningful image in a random or ambiguous value. Look, we think this of seeing faces and stuff. Beautiful. What a phrase. What a phrase. Love that. Okay, cool. Very cool. So that was the first face coin. And then what happened was then Facecoin was upgraded with Facecoin Cache, higher resolution, lower pixel bit map depth advancement. Beautiful. And then we moved on. Finally, we got the update in 2023 of this size of this additions. The Genesis block and the colors of the proof of work bitmaps for each one are derived from the Ethereum wallet address of the owner. This makes each one kind of like a self-portrait, right? So a cute little update on the face maps here, but using the wallet hash to produce something to give it a self-portrait vibe by using something that you own yourself. Okay, lovely. The Cybernetic artwork. Monkey coin is art. We know that. Art is. I don't know what the song is, but it's great. It's called Catching Flies. So proof of existence is the one that's referenced in this new All at Once project. Okay, so proof of existence is 2014 Bitcoin hash. I have placed the hash of my genome onto the Bitcoin blockchain. This proves my existence, at least since blocks 286.9117. Lovely. Proof of existence 2, I have placed the hash of God into the Bitcoin blockchain. This proves that God exists, at least since 287.947. That's proofs of existence. Now we've predicted the future with the blockchain. Let's see. Just getting rid of all this. There we go. Lovely. Monkey coin. Part of the Coins project. So cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin use a proof of work system to prevent abuse. Literature and drama are proof of aesthetic work. Monkeycoin uses attempting to write complete works of Shakespeare as its proof of work. This is implemented by converting SHA-256 Digest to ASCII and checking the results against the first few characters of the first folio after dedications and credits, which is the start of the Tempest. The difficulty is increased by requiring successively more characters to be matched. Nice. So this is Monkeycoin is attempting to write the complete works. Okay, so it is. So I got this is great. So Monkeycoin is just generating hashes over and over again, and it's trying to say like, okay, cool. Let's see if we can get it actually to do the beginning of the Tempest. However, the difficulty requires to get longer and longer sections of the Tempest, which is that's kind of a natural, work limiting proof of work limiting pattern. Love that. Monkeycoin. We got some Lisp too. Okay, we've got beautiful. Very crypto. Wow. Okay, so 1 Doge equals 1 Doge. This is 2019. 1 Doge takes the form of an image of a Bitcoin address, describing a Dogecoin meme registering as an Ethereum NFT. The meme is 1 Doge, equals 1 Doge. And the naive typography and color palette of the image comes from the Doge memes such as those used to promote the Dogecoin currency. This assertion may resemble the law of identity as seen in Plato's Theaetetus in the writings of Ayn Rand, and here it is proven ironically rather than taken as an axiom, reaching inside a statement of economic fungibility that has become an expression of faith in the lasting social value of cryptocurrency separate from its volatile dollar value. NFTs are secured using public key cryptography. Public key cryptography uses a large, unguessably random number as a seed to generate the keys used to encrypt and sign messages such as the blockchain transactions. Public key signatures can be used as proofs that is a secret known to the signer without them having to reveal it until a later date. 1 Doge equals 1 Doge misuses this terminology and the technology that it describes to perform one of the key functions of art, ideological closure. To provide a non-tautological proof that 1 Doge equals 1 Doge, we create a Bitcoin address starting with 1 Doge from a cryptographic key set, also starting with 1 Doge, when read as digital text rather than a number. Cryptographer or philosopher would laugh at such a proof, and yet the improbability and accompanying effort of finding such a match with a piece of software known as a vanity address generator impresses the imagination as much as it tickles the funny bone. It results with the tension of having to believe a bare assertion, turning it to precisely the kind of playful, comic, rhetorical sleight of hand the Dogecoin memed itself into being here. So look at this, actually does start with 1 Doge is the idea. Okay, so we're saying that okay, we know it's public keys, right? Can be used as proofs. A sign that is known the signer without having to reveal a later date. Exactly. Okay, cool. Yeah, public and private. So we're saying is we create a Bitcoin address that starts with 1 Doge from a cryptographic key seed value. Also started with 1 Doge. A seed of 1 Doge to then make an address of 1 Doge, which would be impossible. Unless you use, a vanity address. So it's like, lovely. More art coins, colored art coins. We got My Soul. We got critical coins. Hot, cold. Face coin, colors in my studio. Shareable ready-mades. 2013, 3D printable digital models. A physical Twitter hashtag. We can sell a little balloon dog. 3D printable digital model. This is like before. Odd history. Hashtag odd history. Light in the studio. We're looking through earlier stuff. So initially deployed for the art world Ethereum in 2014. Calls back to art language's 1960 conceptual artwork involving abstract aesthetic properties. It looks and is implemented to be twice as complex as is art, but it's really only one bit of information. So these were the colored coins here. In Eternal, so art color white is, and this is things that, let's see what's up here. What is we listening to? Nubotega? An eternal, changeless epitome of art, always totally contemporary now and forever. Artcoin Blue, a perfect investment vehicle and symbolic revolution of the contradictions and aporias of management and capital, made of the finest material and the best aesthetics here. A multicultural art from China, India, and the Middle East, a challenge to receive wisdom and logistics from the eternal audience and trade network, rendering specific and local, exchangeable, valorizable cultural elements here. Okay, cool. Okay, we got more. We're not able to finish going through every single Ria Myers. Made a lot of progress. Need to go through more. So far, everything very, very cool. We're kind of getting through. I need to get through these anything that is above like coin stuff, I think. But sadly, at this time, I gotta go because I can't do long stream forever. So I'll be back, and we'll keep going, and then we'll see who else we can finish. It's gonna take a minute to get